Welcome to Learning Equinox. In our series on PowerPoint presentation, today we shall understand how we can prepare this beautiful animated pyramid. So on a click you get to see point 1, on another click point 2, point 3 and point 4. While we are showcasing the points, the pyramid also changes the color one by one. Isn't this really a nice way to showcase your presentation when you just have to showcase a structure where you're going from one point to another? So let us today understand how we can create this. In this we shall have two things. First step would be we will create this structure. The second thing is we will use the animation on the slide to give it this beautiful color changing animation. So, hope you are liking these series on PowerPoint presentations that we have been showcasing at Learning Equinox. If yes, do let us know in the comment section what more you would like to hear from our end. Also, if you like these videos, do give it a thumbs up and share it around with your friends and colleagues so that they also get involved in learning something different. To stay tuned to Learning Equinox, do not forget to subscribe to Learning Equinox. Every week we shall come up with something different on PowerPoint presentations so that it helps you in creating beautiful animated presentations. Now, let's get started with the video. The first step would be to create this structure. So all I need to do is first I'll take this rectangular box and I'll create a box on this, as you can see on the screen. Now, to make it a lot more perfect, I will select the size of the box. As you can see in the size section, I select 1 inch and 1 inch. So 1 inch in height and depth, 1 inch in height and width is what I have taken for this box. Now, I need to give it some amount of depth. So let us go to Format, Shape and begin to give it some depth. You come to 3D formats. You select a format that would suit your desired presentation. That is, I'll go to 3D rotation and I will select the preset as off axis 1 top. With this, I'm going to make it like a lying down position the way I want. The next step would be to give it some depth. The next step is to give it a pointed top. In order to give it a pointed top, I will have to follow one method, which would be, since I have selected a 1 inch box, I'll multiply it by 36 to give it a certain bevel up. For that, I will select the top bevel option, which is like a top bevel, and I'll give this a width of 36 points and also give it some height, let's say 50. Or let's say a little more, I'll give it, let's say 80. So this is the first pyramid that I have created. So the width is going to be multiplied by 36. So it gets an exact point, the kind that we are looking for. And the top bevel option that I will select will be bevel angle that I have selected. With this gives me a shape of this kind of a pyramid. Now let's go into the coloring. So I'll give it a nice gray shape fill with color outline, with the shape outline as no outline. Now I will go to format, 3D format and select a nice glossy material. Let's say if I select dark edge in special effects, this gives a nice edge to it. So I like this. This looks good to me. So this is my first triangle that I have created. Now I need to create 4 layers. As you can see in this diagram, it's not just the one. This is the topmost layer that we have created. We need to create 3 more such layers. For this, all you need to do is a Control D. That is for the second layer. Now, the second layer is not of 1 inch but of an additional 2 inch. So I'll go to the Format tab and I'll change this 1 inch to 2 inches in height and width. Now I'll have to do it a send to back so that it goes to the back. And there you go. I'll try to place it exactly below it, below the first one. Now I'll again hit a Control D and make this as 3 inches in height and in width. Again I'll click and say send to back. That brings it to the back, and this is the third one. I'll just try to arrange and align it all in one. Again, I do a Control D and I make this as a 4" in height and 4" in width. This becomes again sent to back and it fits in right there. In this way, I have created my pyramid. I'll select all of them by a Control A and try to place it in the center. Now I need to give some shadow at the bottom so that it looks like the pyramid is placed on that shadow. So all I'll do is select this oval. I'll go to gradient fill. In shape options, I'll go to gradient fill. I will select the type as path. The gradient path I would just need 2, so I'll delete the rest. The outer one would be white and the inner one would be black. So the inner one is black and the outer one is white. And I'll just go and arrange the gradients to the amount of whiteness that I want on the outer side. And now I'll go to shape outline and say no outline because it's just a gradation. And I'll place it right at the bottom here. Again, I'll hit a send to back, which will take it, and I'll expand this in a way and place it in a manner that it looks like a shadow from behind. So I'll stretch this to and place it in a manner that it looks like a small sheen behind. In order to place the text, I'll select the text box and I'll just place it here and write as point 1 and type my text here. I'll select a nice bold font, increase the size a bit, okay, and place it next to the lowermost box. All I need to do is a Control D to duplicate it and place it above this for the second point. Control and a Control D again for the fourth point out here. So in this way I have created the pyramid with the points. So the placing is done. Now I need to give it some color and animation. So for the animation part, let's move on to the animation pane. I'll just close this and open the animation pane for you to see it. Now I need it to come one by one from the bottom and change color. So firstly I'll take the last box and I'll go to emphasis option and say as object color. So I'm getting this nice orange color. I can select to whatever color I would like to. Let's say if I want to make it a little darker orange. So there you go. It's a darker shade now. Now I want this point 1 to come along with it. So I'll do a wipe and a wipe from left. And this has to happen with previous. So the start will be with previous. So while this turns to red, the point 1 appears. Now I'll take the next box and at this time again I will do an object color. Select the same color that I had selected earlier, that's this little darker red. The point I want to come as wipe from left. And at this point of time, I want the lower one red to turn back into the gray it is, right? So I'm going to again select this at this point of time and do an add animation here. And once I do add animation, because I've already given it one animation, now I'm adding another animation. So you have to select the option of add animation. So you select add animation, object color, and this time you make it back again to the gray that it is. Now, the text box that comes as well as the color changing back to gray has to happen with previous. So I selected it with previous. So the time the second box turns red, the text box 2 also comes, as well as the earlier rectangle turns to gray. So both of these events have to happen with the coloring of red, that is with previous. So I've selected both and selected with previous. Same I got to do for the third one. Again, I go to emphasis, object color, color it the red that I have. Now I need to give the point an animation. So I'll go to wipe animation. Effects is from left. I go to the previous box, add animation, again object color, and turn it back to the gray that it is. Let's become a little lighter one. Sorry. Yeah. Again, the fourth one that you're going to give it and okay, and both of these, the text box as well as the graying back of the earlier one, has to happen with previous. You need not forget that. Now moving on to the last one, I'm going to fill object color. I'm going to make it the red that I want. The point has to come with previous, from left with previous. The earlier one needs to again add animation, object color, back to the gray. Okay, and again this also has to happen with previous. So now let's look at how this looks in the animated format. So here on a click of a button, I have point 1 and the first one turning into red, second one turning to red while the first one grays out, and the point 2 comes in. The third one turns to red, the previous one grays out, and point 3 comes in. The topmost turns to red, point 4 comes, and the earlier one grays out. Isn't this a beautiful way to present something to your audience? Now, let me also tell you one more thing. If I want to modify, now this is like a rectangle that we have created. If I want to modify this into something else, I'll just create a duplicate over here first. Let me say I want to modify this into a cylinder format. What do I need to do? I need to just select, hit the shift key and select all the 4 boxes of the pyramid. I'll go to format tools, edit shape, and let me select this oval. Once you select this oval, the entire diagram from a pyramid turns into this nice beautiful cylinder. Again, see, it's the same thing. You can also go ahead and change this shape to anything else. Again, I'll just show it to you by selecting all the 4 levels of the pyramid. I go to format tools, edit shape and change shape, and this time I will select something from the flowchart options. Which is this flowchart document type, and there you get a beautiful shape like pyramid, not exactly like a pyramid but a beautiful shape of the document. So isn't this a very beautiful way to present points to your audience? If you like this video, do give it a thumbs up and share around with others if you find it useful too. Subscribe to Learning Equinox to stay tuned for more such happenings and interesting topics on PowerPoint at Learning Equinox. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more.